Hi there, I'm Jamie Taylor. Welcome to Your Health Matters, brought to you by Kingman Regional Medical Center, your community-owned, not-for-profit hospital. This program focuses on healthcare issues that we think are relevant to you and your family. I hope you'll stay tuned because I've got a great guest on my program today. We're going to answer some questions you might have about healthcare. So come right back after these messages. Welcome back to Your Health Matters. My guest today is Mike Ross. He's the Director of Environmental Services here at Kingman Regional Medical Center. Hi, Mike.
Hi, how are you, Jamie?
I'm great, and thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
So, you're the Director of Environmental Services. What does that mean? What's environmental services?
Basically, it is taking care of the trash, the cleanliness of the hospital, taking out waste, medical waste. We also do the laundry, so quite a few, and infection control. Obviously, we're sanitizing and disinfecting rooms so that our patients have a clean environment to come into.
That's a big job. We've got 235 beds here.
It's a dirty job, but someone has to do it.
And have you been doing that for a long time?
Actually, I've been here for a little over 3 years at Kingman Regional.
Okay.
And then prior to that, I was with a hospital in Kentucky for 7.5 years.
Okay, that explains the accent. So are you from Kentucky originally?
Yes, I am. Yeah,
born and raised?
The western part of Kentucky, born and raised.
Very good.
Marshall County, a little town called Hardin, Kentucky. Nearest to Paducah is where I moved. If anyone's heard of that beautiful
That name's
region.
familiar, yeah.
A couple of large lakes that we have there, so a lot of hunting and fishing and outdoors, motorcycle riding.
So you were born and raised there, and you got kids back there too?
I have a son there. I have a daughter in Atlanta and 2 grandchildren in Atlanta.
Oh, so but how did you choose Kingman then? How did you decide to
It
come
was
here?
interesting. I was Director of Environmental Services in Paducah, Kentucky at Lourdes Hospital. Been there about 7.5 years, and was beginning to think about maybe moving on to another hospital. And I received a letter from Kingman Regional Medical Center. Remember Kelly that used to be our recruiter?
Yes, our recruiter.
She contacted me and asked if I had any interest. And I did, because my wife and I had visited Vegas and rented a car, went to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, so you came through
Happened to
Kingman not
pass
knowing
through Kingman,
you.
stopped at the Harley shop and Mr. D's.
Okay,
So that was our exposure to Kingman, was Mr. D's and the Harley shop.
Mother Road.
But I did remember that. Remember, it's a pleasant town, and love that it's just beautiful in its own way. A little different than where I'm from.
Sure.
But beautiful in its own way with the mountains, and obviously good motorcycle riding territory. And spoke to Ryan Kennedy, who I report to. Was very impressed with his philosophy in the hospital, and we had a lot of similar ideas and concepts that we wanted to enact here. And he pretty much gave me the feeling that I would have an opportunity to make a difference, and that's what I'm all about, is making a difference. So we accepted the opportunity to come, and I've had a great time since we've been here.
Well, and your wife works here too.
My wife is Betsy Ross, so the flag
I'm
the
sure
flag
she's
lady.
never heard that joke.
Betsy and I actually dated in high school, and then like an idiot, I broke off that relationship, and then 30 plus years later, we
my
bumped into
goodness.
each other and got married.
I did
And
not know
rekindled an old
that.
relationship.
That's a special
that's
romantic
great.
story.
It's just been great.
Very good. Now, I know you're a motorcycle enthusiast and rider. Does she ride with you?
She rides on the back. She has her motorcycle license, but she tells everyone she would rather tell me how to drive than to drive her own.
Well, I'm sure I know Marvin would say the same thing about me, because he knows that I'm too busy looking around and checking out the landscape. Oh, look at that. Oh, look there.
Yeah. And if
So
I do
driving.
that, she'll grab my helmet and turn my
Keep
head
you on
back.
the straight and narrow. Make sure you look where you're going.
Yeah.
I'll look, you just drive,
Right.
right? Well, that's good. And I think there's quite a few of you here at KRMC that ride together,
Right. We do. We take several trips. Just went up to Utah to Zion National
Oh,
Park
beautiful
and
country.
Lake Powell. Just a beautiful, beautiful ride.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, like you said, it's good bike riding
Really
country
is.
here. Yeah, and of course, if you really do get homesick for that snow and the moisture, you can always drive up to the Wallapies and play in it for a while. It's my idea, being from Minnesota, of a perfect winter. You drive up, you play in it, and then you drive down and you get out of it. Those 6 to 9 month winters, no, they're just like
That's right.
too old.
We don't miss those.
No, the older I get, the less I miss it. That's great. Well, so back, I know, sorry, get a little off track sometimes, but environmental services, so your staff, and how many people work in your department?
We've got about 70 if you look at our laundry department, environmental services department, our on-call staff.
Yeah, it's one of the
And we
bigger
usually
departments.
Usually keep around 70.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a broad range from the laundry all the way through the cleaning.
Really, there's a lot of training involved, a lot of knowledge of chemicals and infectious waste and infectious cleaning. So,
Because that's obviously being in a hospital, that's really important.
right, and I guess a huge difference. I used to run a janitorial company as well, and in that business, we cleaned for appearance. But in a hospital setting, you not only clean for appearance, you clean for health. It's the things that you can't see.
That'll get you.
Yeah, that'll get you. You've got to be sure that you're cleaning that so that your next patient comes into a clean environment, doesn't have to worry about what was possibly in that room prior to them, because we thoroughly disinfect and clean.
That's good.
And kill anything that could be
Yeah,
in there
the
as far
whole-
as germs. Or,
Right, the beds, and I know that,
Right.
because I've been a part in some of the conversations and trainings that you've had, and it's the whole room gets cleaned, so that's an important thing.
Absolutely.
And that's good, for the people of Kingman to know that they can rest assured that if they do have to come to the hospital, and personally, of course, I'd rather see them at Walmart than I would as a patient, but we know that they'll get excellent care here and can rest assured that those rooms are clean and
And we appreciate the good comments we get from our patients who do compliment our housekeepers. And I know this past week we were in the top 5% as far as patient satisfaction and cleanliness.
awesome.
So we're very proud of our staff in achieving
Yes.
that.
Well, you've done a great job of incorporating, and we'll talk a little bit more about that too, but that customer service into your staff at all levels. And we get those Living Our Mission emails from Brian, and frequently those patients mention the housekeepers and how they were encouraging to them or said a kind word or, would answer their call light. I mean, that went above and beyond what would normally be considered their job.
And when we get those, we brag on our staff. We put those up on our communication board, highlight their names or highlight the staff. And in our department meeting, we recognize our staff as well.
Well, and that's that sense of ownership that we want all of our employees to have here at KRMC, that they are a part of the whole team. And that from the CEO to housekeeping, it doesn't matter, anybody
Absolutely.
in between, they're all very important to making sure our patients get the best quality care.
Everyone feels like they're the most important, and they are.
Yeah.
But because we're a part of that
Right.
team, as you said, we all interact with each other, we affect each other, and we help each other.
Because just one person not stepping up and doing it will affect that
Sure,
patient's
and
outcome.
you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I know that you've done an incredible job of training and hiring the right people. That's a lot of it too, obviously. But so let's talk about that service excellence, because I know we've been very blessed to have you here, Mike, not just from your Director of Environmental Services, but you've also taken that a notch up to training the rest of the hospital on what is service excellence. What does that mean? Now, had you done that before?
I had, when I was used to be in the insurance agency business, I used to teach, and we talked a lot about management skills, customer service, but it had been a lot of years, so I was pretty rusty at
You wouldn't have
teaching.
guessed it. But
Yeah, and and it's interesting, the way this came about is that Kim Bianchi, our Director of Nursing, wanted to provide some customer service training for the nursing department, and she said she looked throughout the hospital, tried to decide who best exemplifies that, and I guess she thought of our department, and she asked me if I would present some of that material, and so I put together some programs, and then other departments heard about it and they asked me to come, and then the next thing I know, we had a committee that was formed, a Service Excellence Committee of key players in the hospital, and Chief Operating Officer Ryan Kennedy chaired that committee. And as we developed curricula and the things that we wanted to talk about with our staff and educate, and because really it's all about the patient experience. When we think about our patients, our families, our visitors coming to the hospital, and those living our mission moments that you mentioned when they do compliment our staff, they don't talk about the millions of dollars that we invest
Right,
in
or
our
the
equipment and our
equipment, all that.
buildings. What they talk about is that the person that was compassionate, the person that showed concern, the person
touched their hand
that showed
and-
care, the
yeah.
person that touched them. Yeah, all of these, it's that human element. So as we begin to look at that, we put a program together. And we originally talked about hiring a consultant to come in and teach those. And Ryan recommended that maybe I teach those classes. So I guess it was kind of a gamble because no one really knew how that would go when they invited me to do that. But again, and they asked me, "Are you sure you want to take this on?" Because we taught every employee of the hospital.
Right.
And now we do new employee orientation. And I said, yeah, I really would like the challenge. And Kim Miyachi asked me, why would you do that? And I said, I want to make a difference. And that, again, that's just me. If I can make a difference, then that's fulfilling to me.
Right.
And so we put together those classes and tried to teach our staff. And it's really common sense, Jamie. It's not anything that they didn't already know. It's just a good reminder of being kind, being compassionate. The mama factor, you know,
Yeah.
for example, we tell our housekeepers, when you finish cleaning a room, ask yourself the question, would I want my mother to stay in this room? And that's a great question
Yeah.
for nursing anyone to ask, is
Right.
how I treat this person. Would I treat my mother that way?
Well, and I've shared on the program before too that I talk to people frequently, and I think learning from you and that training you did, that when you realize living in a small community like we do, where we know each other and you're going to run into each other, and that patient and visitor could be a family member, a friend, a neighbor, or just someone you're going to see next week at Walmart.
Right.
And if you don't give them the very best possible care, they're going to let you know.
Yeah.
At Walmart, in front of everybody.
Yeah, and it's statistically it's been shown that people who do not receive good service go out and tell 55 other people that they receive poor service,
Right.
and then those people tell other people. Ultimately, some of those people could stop doing business with you. So it does have an exponential effect
Absolutely.
if we're not providing good service. But
Right.
just the opposite is true. If we're providing service excellence, then people are going to talk about that and share with their friends and family what a great experience they had.
And I think, you know, we can both, you know, be proud of the fact that I know we get those Living Our Mission emails from Brian on a daily basis,
Yeah,
you know,
those are
and at
wonderful.
least one, if not, you know, 2 or 3. And those are just the highlights that he sends. So we know that people really are happy and are getting good service here, and we're very proud of that. And
Brian actually had a unique experience in that one patient actually videotaped himself, and we use that in our class where
Oh, I
we
didn't
show
know that.
we show that particular video of that patient who.
I'll have to check that
and
out.
again, he doesn't talk about the building's equipment. He talks about the people
Right.
and how they treated him and how kind they were and how compassionate they were. So
Super.
that's
Well, I
kinda
want to
neat.
talk a little bit more about that. We're going to take a quick break. I hope you'll stay tuned. We've got a few messages for you, and we'll be right back.